The UK construction industry is booming, and every year we see a dramatic rise in the standard of projects being undertaken. Investors are always looking for the best, and as we notice the vast changes to our skyline, those in the know can tell you that such changes also exist on the inside as well. To find out for ourselves, we spoke to Composite Profiles.
Well, Composite Profiles was formed back in 1992 by my father, Roy. And when we set up, when Roy set up, it was really with the focus on the customer at the heart. And that's something that we've maintained since 1992. I joined in 98 and drove things forward from there. When we were originally set up, we focused solely on composite metal floor decking. And that served us very well. When the global financial crisis hit our entire industry, then we looked to see where else we can diversify into. And we started looking into the structural roof decking side of the operation. And these days we've added in concreting to the top of the metal floor decking. And we are also looking into ways of making safer systems. One of these is our Hull Protect system, which will mean that all the small service voids which usually litter the composite floor are fully protected by ourselves, and that takes it away from a headache for the main contractor.
Earlier in the year, Composite Profiles gave our team access to their latest project. Based in the heart of Shoreditch, London, this particular building boasts ties to a little-known playwright you may have heard of.
This area has been referenced the stage due to its historical significance with William Shakespeare. It's understood that some of his first performances were here, and the stage has been uncovered between the building we're currently stood on and the building that we can see in the background. The archaeological remains are going to be kept and showcased for future generations. We're currently up to level 6 with the metal decking works. The steelwork has progressed further. Shortly we'll be erecting the safety netting to level 7, splitting up open the deck bundles and installing the metal decking sheets.
Composite Profiles are currently installing approximately 15,000 square metres of the Tata Confloor 51 profile. This has been installed over 12 floors on the building and the roof. The building use is going to be office development and is part of the main Shoreditch stage development.
With this project, the steel trade has given us a 3D model of their model, so that gives us an easy understanding of what supports are going to be in place, able to zoom around the model and work out exactly what's going on site with the steelwork. In terms of designing it, I would use that model for the support side of it, and I'll put my decking on top in a 2D capacity.
I think the growth in the future for the construction industry is going to be based around off-site manufacturing. Working mainly in steel and the steel frame buildings, we've adopted an off-site manufacturing process for some time now, where the steel sheets and the steel frame is all manufactured off-site and then assembled on site as a big puzzle, if you like. And lots of other trades are now moving towards these off-site manufacturing techniques.
In the future, we're looking to put our decking in a 3D capacity onto the steel frame that we've got. This will give it beneficial of easy scheduling of materials. It will save us having to count everything manually, schedule everything manually. It should all just be over a click of a button.
The Shoreditch project is a fairly tight site. Logistics are quite key on this one. There's more than one building. There's our building, which is building 1. There's building 2 I'm currently stood on, and there are other aspects of the project. Multiple deliveries coming into this site, bearing in mind it's central London, so these all need to be coordinated and they are key to a smooth running of the project. Getting materials in and out is one of the most difficult things, and it is as and when required basis for deliveries. There's no point in getting materials here early and having them sat here because you are just taking up prime space on the project.
Going forward for the next decade, I can see the collaboration between various parts of the supply chain working much, much closer together. Getting specialists like ourselves involved with engineers at a very early stage, we can offer a greater level of detail and let them focus on the overall build of the project, and we can come in and offer specifics for either the flooring side of things or the roofing. And by doing that, we can minimise our transport to site, so we can become a greener industry, and we become a more long-lasting sector. Whereas a lot of energy is required at the front end of steel, its real benefits are the fact that it can last for decades and decades to come. If we look broader into steel structures rather than the flooring and the roofing side of things, steel beams can be dismantled, reused, melted down, reformed, all extremely efficiently.
One of the cost benefits of metal decking is the fact that we can get the materials manufactured to the correct length and delivered to site in one go. This avoids the need for additional cutting on site and means we can get a speedy install.
On this particular building, you can see that we've got the concrete core housing the lift shafts and the staircases going up in the middle, and all the steel beams are being attached around the outside. When the metal decking bundles get lifted up, we're typically lifting 16, 17 sheets at a time, rather than if we were using precast planks on the project. Each one of those would need to be lifted up individually, and the crane time alone is key for projects like this, especially in busy inner city centres like we are at the moment.
The client can save money on a project by early engagement. Getting us involved at early stages can help with VE options. There may be an option to change the profile of the deck, the gauge of the deck. This may mean that we can reduce some beams within the actual building itself, thus reducing the cost to the client and the end user.
For example, on roof decking projects, we can use a deeper deck that will span up to 9 metres on main steels. This allows the purlins to be removed and replaces a shallow deck with a deeper deck, which will affect the volume of the concrete. And when you look at the whole floor in this method, we're able to offer some value engineered solutions to provide a floor decking that will meet your requirements.
It's exactly what happened here on this project, where our senior operations manager visited the steel fabricators SDM at a very early stage to discuss the buildability and hence overall performance of the job. By saving time, weeks or even days on projects such as this, then they save money and the building is far easier for us to construct as well.
One of the big challenges our site teams face, which is a natural part of our environment, although odd to a lot of people looking on, is that when we're putting our product down, there is literally no floor beneath us. We are the first trade in. Our safety netting that we put up prior to installing any of our materials provides excellent safety for the guys on site. But when we're working, and we could be working on level 10, level 20, there are no sides to the building either. And when you're working in January on dockside, and if the wind needs to get up a little bit, we need to be very, very aware of when is it safe to carry on our works and when is actually the right time to stop, make sure everything's safe, come down and wait for that next safe period. When I look back to when I started in the industry, things have moved on massively in this area. The introduction of safety nets as a safety fall protection system came in around about 2000, and looking back, everyone would not believe that we could have done it in any different kind of way. It's really changed us revolutionary from that moment going forward. Training is really the key part for safety for us, so we ensure that all of our operatives and our site managers and project managers are fully trained and overly trained to the levels that meet the requirements on each individual site.
I think the biggest challenges facing the industry is going to be a bit of a skills gap. A lot of the guys that have got the knowledge in the industry are getting on. The average age of the workforce has been increasing year after year, and the construction industry doesn't really attract talent, so it needs to work hard to attract the right people into the industry, and those people can make a real difference.
One of the challenges that the industry's been facing in recent years has been succession planning. So as an industry, we've had quite an ageing workforce, and to get in people at a younger level has been really, really key for that. We've been doing that not just as a business, but in the wider organisation, to give people the right skills, to attract them in, to drive things forward. Without the workforce around us, all industries will die, and ours will be no different from that.
I think the construction industry can struggle to attract talent sometimes because of other more attractive industries that are out there. A lot of people are moving towards IT, software-based systems, that type of stuff, and construction's still seen as quite a hard-nosed industry and not a particularly easy industry to get into.
Composite Profiles, a few years ago, we introduced some champion roles, and these were individuals that were going to look at an individual part of the business and really focus in on it and drum in on it. One of these, and in fact the most recent one that we've added in, is our health and wellbeing champion. And that's been fantastic this year. This year we've had our health and wellbeing week, in which case we focused on a different area per day, and that's not necessarily just healthy eating, it's exercise, and it's also the mental health side of our business.
We believe in the overall health and wellbeing of our team, so recently we've instigated the Monday morning mile where we all go out for a walk, and we've also do yoga on a Tuesday. I actually think it's fun. I also think the fact that you've got the table tennis table here actually gives the guys an opportunity, a little stress upstairs. They come down, they have a game of ping pong, have a bit of a laugh, hit a ping pong ball really hard, come back upstairs, release tension, it's great.
We've recently trained 3 of our team to be mental health first aiders, and we actually have a mental health first aid kit. Similarly to have a first aid kit with plasters in, we have one of these but with information and knowledge about where to go if we see somebody struggling. We're not experts and we don't pretend to be experts in the details of mental health, but what we are now very good at is being able to signpost individuals at an early stage so that they can seek the help that they need.
One initiative that sits close to many people's hearts is the effort to go green, and various sectors are making vital changes in order to reduce their contribution to climate change. Construction is no different.
Sustainability in construction is an increasingly important area. We work very closely with Tata Steel, who hold their BES 6001 sustainability accreditation. This means that they've got through sourcing and traceability for all their products, meaning that we stay a step ahead of our competition.
Sustainability goals, I think, are being met in the construction industry. We work a lot in steelwork. Steel is very recyclable. I was looking at some stuff recently that was saying there was up to 99% of steelwork that's put into buildings can be recycled or has been recycled. There's a lot of focus on the sustainability and the environmental impact of the buildings.
Looking to the future, we can see big technology gains from both products and computerised design. With specialists being engaged at early stages, we can work together, bring in our specialisms, and this is going to really benefit the industry as a whole.
The construction industry is thriving mainly in London and the major cities like Birmingham and Manchester. There's also a lot of regeneration along the M4 corridor in places like Slough. We've done a lot of data centre work, which is obviously big business in the UK at the moment, with everyone needing to house their storage.
With such projects underway and new solutions available on the market, it's clear that the British construction industry is quite simply on the up.